I love this movie. I love the way it ends. I love the fact that we're talking about age and we're talking about the real stuff in age, which is setting things right.
You've taken your chances, made your mistakes, and now a final triumph.
Indy! Give 'em hell, Indiana Jones!
A few times in my life I've seen things.
I've been tortured with voodoo. Been shot 9 times. Including once by your father. Sorry!
But I've been looking for this all my life. Well, we were just talking about the scene, which is the transition from 1944 to 1969. There's this wonderful moment when we first see Indiana Jones in 1969, when the day that men landed on the moon. And we've just seen him in 1944. And the hard cut there is one of my favorite things that I've ever done in a movie. It's just a bit of a silent screen sort of moment where you meet your character and just get a chance to look at him and feel him, and it's just a great little moment that tells us what's happened to the character visually in the time between 1944 and 1969.
I'm retiring.
Well, in that case, what are we drinking?
Same for the goddaughter.
But also in film you can weave time back and forth and step forward in time, come back, and people don't, so we see something and then we learn about what it means in the most intriguing film language you can imagine. And it's the introduction of Phoebe's character and a whole new opportunity for an adventure coming to this man in this context. He's now in a world, 1944 is a black and white world. We know who the good guys and bad guys are. This is 1969. German Nazi scientists have been participating in the American space program and have gotten men on the moon. And then we introduce our villains, and they are Nazis. I'm just telling you.
Nazis aren't
this,
funny, but the way Harrison says it is funny.
Yeah.
But and then we punch some Nazis, and we tell a story that's a fantastic story. I love this movie. I love the way it ends. I love the fact that we're talking about age and we're talking about the real stuff in age, which is setting things right. Bringing things around the corner, rounding out your life in a comfortable way, and bringing these 5 films to a kind of roundness.
You stole it. Then you stole it.
And then I stole it. It's called capitalism. Well, it was a series of firsts for me, this film. Being in a film of this scale, for starters, and the physical side of it, the action side of it, I completely adored. Being able to play sort of so many different aspects of a character and so many different scenarios. There was just every single day was like a brand new experience and a joyful one.
For me as well. It's my first Indiana Jones film, and it was a remarkable opportunity to collaborate with the people I did. But the other thing that occurs to me is just I've made a bunch of movies, but I've never worked with a composer like John Williams before, and that was a kind of startling experience on the tail end of the process. The last year, as we were cutting and working, is just he writes the score in pencil. On a piano, and you don't get to hear it in a mock-up on a synthesizer. You only get to hear it when you gather 300 musicians together. And the whole old school nature of the way John works was being a fan of kind of golden age cinema and the classical old school way of doing things, which is part of my attraction to getting involved on this movie. Because these movies, the Indiana Jones films, are such love letters to cinema, was one of the really unique experiences I had. And and was lucky enough to have a 91-year-old composer who was ready to sit down and write over 2 hours of music in pencil for orchestra for our picture.
I've come to believe it's not so much what you believe. It's how hard you believe it.
In the Has Snakes, what is your guys' like biggest fear?
Wasps.
Wasps.
Making a bad
Assassins.
movie.
It's like fun.
What was that?
Pardon? My biggest fear is making a bad movie.
Oh, that's a good one. That's terrifying. Yes, that would be terrifying. Skydiving, not happening.
Come on, man.
No, not happening.
Let's go.
Let's skydive in a terrible movie onto a wasp.
Skydiving into a wasp nest,
Yeah.
triple threat.